I spend $690 a month on AI tools. One of them costs $200. By the end of this video, you'll know the tool that I spend $200 a month on, the reason I've cancelled ChatGPT after 2 whole years, the ROI for my business and personal life have from these AI tools, and also a quick guide on how you can select different AI tools for your business. I'm Blake, an AI engineer in New Zealand that has helped over 15 businesses work smarter, not harder with AI. So my most used AI tool is Cursor, and this is a vibe coding software tool where I can have a little chat window on the side of my code base and I can interact with it like a chatbot, and it will actually go and edit out in my code. And so this is used on pretty much all of my projects that I've built for clients and in my own personal work. The things I like about Cursor is the fact that it is a VS Code fork and it's got that same IDE and feel as VS Code, which I'm used to coding in. But then also you have that model flexibility, whereas Claude Code, you're limited to the Claude models, where I find having the mix of Gemini for UI kind of design and then GPT-5 Codex was really good for the back-end design. And so that was the main tool I've been using for the last year. So that came with a lot of familiarity and why I kept with it. Now, the most bang for buck you can get with AI, I believe, is a Google Workspace plan. This enables you to not only have your basic workspace features like having a custom email address, you've got your Gmail, your Drive storage, all that Google software suite. You have a whole range of AI integration inside of them that is really useful. And it only costs $30 a month. You also get access to Gemini, which is one of the best LLM models that are currently out there. They also have their Nano Banana Pro model, which is insane for image editing or creation. The best part about the Google Suite is that its AI is really integrated into everything. For example, in Google Meet, you can automatically use Gemini to transcribe the entire conversation, get all the notes out, and provide a summary that stores in Google Drive automatically. Notebook LM is another tool that you get access to with the Google Workspace account. Pretty much it allows you to upload a whole range of documentation into the tool, and it generates a whole bunch of different outcomes for learning. So that's maybe flashcards, reports, questions and answers, and it can even generate videos and audio podcasts for you to learn a new topic. They're also rolling out a huge range of smart features inside of Gmail. And so currently you can have auto draft based on your responses with that person. It can draft up what you may say in response, but it can also have a tab where it will look over all of your inbox and prioritize what you need to actually respond to. So the top tool that I pay $200 a month for is Claude on the Pro plan. And this is my daily go-to chatbot interface that I use for my basic questions and answers, my content creation for scripting, my personal automation, and also some code development. So why would I pay this much money for a chatbot where I already have Gemini through my Google Workspace plan and I was already paying for ChatGPT? Well, the reason I left ChatGPT was I just found that I wasn't using it enough. It wasn't as good as Claude or even Gemini at answering the questions that I wanted it to answer, create the content that I wanted, and it was a bit of a pain copying and pasting information in and out. And so here are the 4 main reasons I choose Claude. Firstly, there is Claude Skills, and this is like having your custom GPTs all in one interface. Basically how it works is you have your system instructions in a markdown file called a skill that works as pretty much like your system prompt inside of a custom GPT. But what this enables is I don't have to copy and paste information in and out of different custom GPTs. I can be on that one Claude interface and get it to reference the different skills it needs in a process. Next is a complete game changer. And again, it is about that automation, not copying and pasting information in and out. And that is the native MCP connections. MCP is Model Context Protocol, and basically it allows your LLMs to actually connect to different software, such as your Gmail, Drive, Notion, or even Xero for your accounting. And so what that means is if I would like to create a new invoice to a customer in Xero, I have an MCP connection from Claude to Xero, and I can ask it, hey, write an invoice, send it out to them, here's the information, and it can go and do that for me. If I wanted to read my emails and find a message around a specific project, it can go and search my emails and pull that information back for me as well. The third reason is Claude Code, and this is a vibe coding tool very similar to Cursor, but it's a lot more popular among developers due to its customizability, especially with the skills. At the moment, Cursor is still my main tool for this, but I'm slowly pivoting more into Claude Code. I'm finding it really useful at taking an entire project brief and building a really good baseline from that, whereas Cursor is a lot better at small, minute changes, where Claude Code could run for pretty much as long as you want it to. And lastly, they have native artifacts. So inside of Claude, the web version or the desktop downloadable one, you can have chats with it and it can actually build out websites, designs, mini apps, and you can keep it within your app as well or share it out to people. So if you're not as technical to go out and actually deploy a website or an app out on the App Store, you can actually create things within the Claude environment, and they're called artifacts, and you can share that out and deploy or even just use that in your own personal life, which I think is quite cool. So I also have some other core support tools that have big AI components in them. First up is Notion, which I call my everything management. So this is my personal and business life. I have my to-do lists, my project proposals, project tracking, YouTube scripting, content calendars, absolutely everything inside of it. And it is really, really useful. It cost me about $41.87 per month to run. And they have AI integration that's a little chat interface that can build out pages, structure them nicer, and just help you out inside the tool. Quite a bit of the client work that I do is just automating their existing business processes. There are a huge amount of tools that you can actually use for this, whether that's Make, N18, Zapier, there's a whole bunch of other ones as well. The reason I chose with Make was because I actually found quite a few Kiwi businesses were actually already using it. And so it was a lot easier to just integrate with the systems that they currently are using rather than trying to introduce them to a new one. And so that's why I've just been using Make for the majority. There is one project that is using N18, but again, that's because the business is already using that tool. That cost me about $27.91 a month to run. And then as well for putting together kind of graphic design, whether it's a presentation or PowerPoint or Instagram carousel or reel, I'm using Canva. That sets me back around $20 a month, and they have a lot of AI tools in there for creating better designs, images, and layouts, all that sort of thing. For the development of my projects, I use these tools here. They aren't as AI enabled as the majority of these other ones on the list, but they are important to mention. Supabase manages all my back-end database. It has built-in authentication with different providers like Google, Microsoft. They have a free tier, which is really useful when I was getting started to build out projects and test it out. Inbuilt file storage, all of that information inside of it makes it really easy to use, and that costs around $131 a month. That is paid per project that you are hosting inside the software. Then I also use Vercel for actually deploying these projects out onto the web. That costs around $106 a month. And I just found that, again, really easy to use. I had a free plan originally. I'm now on the pro plan with 2 seats enabled, and it's just really easy to integrate and get things up and running. So the real question is, does $690 a month make sense? Well, I think it really does, especially when you look at the numbers here. For example, if I'm charging out at $100 an hour and it saves me 3 hours a day, which it absolutely does, if not a whole lot more, then that saves me 90 hours per month. If I'm charging out at $100 and I can charge that money actually out, that is $9,000 saved minus the $690. You're still at a huge net profit there. The real key part is, can I actually charge out myself for that $100 an hour to make that work? And with a lot of demand for AI at the moment, I can. If I went even lower for $50 an hour and I was only saving an hour a day, so 30 hours total, that means I've saved $1,500 of my time. And again, that is a very net positive, almost over double $690 a month to pay for these tools. So how do you actually build your AI tool stack? There are thousands of tools out there that absolutely promise the world. They'll automate your entire business away and everything will be all sweet, and then charge you a huge bill, and then nothing actually happens of benefit. So there are 4 key steps that you really have to focus on. First, you've really got to focus on what the actual problem is you're trying to solve. Is it an automation thing? Is it going to be something where a chatbot is more benefit? Or what actually are you trying to do with these tools? And so then you can find the bottlenecks that are slowing your business down and taking that time, and then really target in on those. And that brings up to point 2, where you want to find solutions specific for your bottlenecks. We don't want an all-in-one solution that promises to do your entire business. We want to first start understanding what our business is doing, understanding our workflows, and then figuring out a solution for that small step, and then we can build up on that. Then what you need to do is, once you've selected a tool, give it a bit of a trial period. A lot of the tools have a skill learning curve. You can't just put it into your business, expect that you can immediately get those returns. Give it around a 30-day period to experiment, set everything up, and actually monitor how it's going before throwing it away. The fourth is the most key step. You have to avoid shiny object syndrome. With thousands of tools out there, more coming out every week, different ones getting updates, you have to stay locked in to what is your business problem, how are you going to try solve it, and what is the best solution for the job. That doesn't mean switching around a whole bunch of different tools, paying for them all, and then going, oh crap, nothing actually works. Stick to what you know, focus on the problem, and solve that first. I'm going to be doing a future video more in detail around this exact process, so stay tuned for that. So in this video, we covered the tools that charge me $690 a month, why I canceled my ChatGPT subscription in replace of Claude, the ROI that I'm finding from having these tools across my business and personal life, and also a bit of a guide on how you can actually look at implementing tools in your own business. If you're looking for assistance, I work with businesses all across New Zealand to help them work smarter, not harder with AI. So reach out on the top link in description. See you around.